Hey, I gotta hand it to ya. Wash me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandy. Got your coffee, got your tea, nice and hot, ready to drink? Here we go. Here's to an awesome day and the beginning of a fabulous weekend. I wonder how many movies there are that have the word Friday in them. We should check on that. I know there's Freaky Friday, and there's I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Okay, why would it be interesting? I don't know, just something different. Hey, happy birthday to John Lennon. John Lennon's birthday. Was he your favorite Beatle? Who was your favorite Beatle? Everybody had a favorite Beatle. I think I was the only girl in the 60s who didn't have a crush on Paul. In fact, honestly, until I saw him in person, I don't think I had a crush on him at all. Ringo cracks me up. Yesterday we talked about Ringo because it was the anniversary of his getting his driver's license, like when he was very much a grown-up. Oh, Paul. Everybody likes Paul. Well, Paul was the cutest, but so I don't remember which Beatles said it about Ringo, but they said Ringo is not the greatest drummer in the world. In fact, he's not even the greatest drummer in the Beatles. That's my favorite Beatles line. I know this is going to sound crazy because hardly anyone had George as a favorite. And maybe it was because I am such a huge fan of the Traveling Wilburys. And if you don't know the Traveling Wilburys, you've missed out on the music of the century. Yeah, maybe I'll play some Traveling Wilburys for you one day. Look it up. You are not going to believe who is in that group. George Harrison. You're going to love that part. And let's see, I know a lot of people who John was their favorite Beatle because it was the 60s and he was like the most far out of the Beatles, right? Yeah. So happy birthday in memoriam to John Lennon. Can you imagine? And if you can, it may be because of John. It's also Alfred Dreyfus's birthday. You probably don't even know who he was. He was this French guy, and there was like a whole trial, and it was a big deal. And the only reason I know about it is because I remember studying about him in 6th grade, and we had to act out the trial, and I was him. So it became like, like the big case in my life. Speaking of John Lennon, I don't know if you remember, but in 1990, to honor him for his birthday on this day, but 30 years ago, radio stations all over the world simultaneously played Imagine. Don't you think it would have been cool if you were like up in space and you started hearing this sound was vaguely familiar? And when you listened really hard from your spaceship, you could hear that the whole earth was resonating with Imagine. Pretty cool, right? What a cool idea. Yay! Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So what is today? Today is Leif Erikson Day. I'm writing that one off, okay? I'm not even talking about that one. It's also Moldy Cheese Day. Now, why would I mention this? Because I don't know if you're aware of this. I know some of you, when the bread gets moldy, you pick off the little moldy part and eat it anyway. Not a good idea, it turns out. Bread is very soft. And as they say on World Health Organization, bread is inexpensive. Throw it away if it gets moldy and buy some fresh bread. Do not eat moldy bread. However, it is Moldy Cheese Day, and there are some molds that actually, are used to make cheese, because there are certain cheeses that are moldy cheeses. But, okay, I'm not going to lie. I've always just like cut the moldy part off of my cheese and eaten it anyway. And I would feel guilty about it pretty much every time I served it to anyone else. So today, when I saw that it was moldy cheese day, I decided to look it up and find out if I was trying to kill my friends and family. And it turns out I'm not at all. And it says absolutely hard cheeses, medium cheeses, just throw away like cottage cheese or cream cheese if it gets moldy. But other cheeses, cut around it, make sure there's no more mold. Don't get the mold on the knife because otherwise you'll get, mold on the rest of the cheese. But it's perfectly okay, according to everybody, to eat the cheese after you've cut away the mold. Ta-da! And make sure you wash your hands. Don't you love my little hand? Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. In 1986, Phantom of the Opera opened in London. Now, I know it was one of the most famous shows of all time. And I have a very dear friend who so generously gave tickets to me for my birthday years and years ago when it first came out, like very brand new at the Music Center in LA. It was just got there. She got me 2 tickets for my birthday, but unfortunately didn't check dates with me first. So the date for those non-refundable tickets was the day that I had returned from an international trip. So I was tired. I was exhausted. I was like, brain dead. So unfortunately, even though I saw it, I hated it because all I could hear was loud noise. Sorry, I was jet lagged. So maybe I should see it again now that I'm not jet lagged, huh? I don't know. That's a good idea. But happy anniversary to Phantom of the Opera. In 1855, Isaac Singer got a patent on a sewing machine motor. Singer sewing machines. I remember my mother used a Singer sewing machine. So, of course, when I saw an antique one years ago, I bought it. And it sat in my living room as a planter. There were plants all over it. It was really cool. I don't have it anymore. Singer sewing machines. I remember in junior high school, we had to take a home ec class to learn how to sew because all young ladies learned how to cook and sew back then. Oh, and to dance properly as well. Anyway, so we made our own clothes in this class. I remember I made a skirt and I made the cutest little summer frock. It was so adorable. And I remember being so excited to wear it to this country club dance. Don't get me wrong, I was not a country club kid, but I was invited to a dance at a country club. A bunch of us were going on a bus. This was in the 8th grade or 7th grade. And my little dress that I made was just perfect for this dress. Yeah, except that it fell apart on the bus. No kidding. I was not a good seamstress. Still am not. I'm great at sewing on a button. I can occasionally do a hem, but beyond that, I am not interested in sewing. Thank you very much. No, I am not interested in sewing. But thank you for inventing the sewing machine. Because when you're only 4'10", you guys, you little people out there know you need somebody to shorten your clothes, right? So sewing machine, thank you. In 1947, I had to share this with you because I can't believe it happened so long ago. 1947 was the first communication between an airplane and a moving car. Did you know that we had car phones way back then? I didn't. I remember my first phone, we called it the brick. Remember it? It was like this big and weighed tons. Yeah, I still have it. In fact, it's on the wall in one of my bedrooms. Right. Yeah. The brick. It was awesome. Steven Seagal's movie, probably his most famous movie, called Under Siege, came out in 1992. Why do I mention Steven Seagal? He doesn't seem like anyone I would like, does he? Well, he's not, actually. But I remember I took a job years ago to put on an auction for a charity. And it was a massive auction. I mean, like there was like, I don't know, $40,000 worth of stuff that I gathered. And one of the things that I gathered was shoes from Steven Seagal. That in itself is not that interesting, except that they were the biggest shoes I had ever seen in my life. I mean, no kidding. That guy had these enormous feet. Speaking of which, I did back in the days when I was in the balloon business, I did a decorating job for the Converse company. Yeah, it was Chuck Taylor's, you know, the high top Converse, the Chuck Taylor ones, like the most famous Converse of all time. Well, they were celebrating them for some reason. So I was supposed to decorate for this huge event. And I came up with this idea that they should give me Chuck Converse shoes and I would turn them into centerpieces. Oh my God, they were so cute. They gave me all like size 12 and above. They were huge. And I stuffed them with matching color shred, you know, the metallic shred. And I had balloons coming out the top and little tiny shoe confetti on the table. So cute. Anyway, here you go. Here's to Steven Seagal and his first and finally biggest movie. Today is a very special day. It is World Post Day. Tomorrow, I guess, is National Post Day, and we'll talk about that. So when I was looking for what I could tell you about today, and I saw that, I thought, what the heck is World Post Day? Because all I could think of was, you know, typing on your computer and posting something on Facebook. Well, we do that every day, right? No, it's the Postal Service internationally. I mean, think about that really. You can pack something up in your hometown and send it across the world and be pretty dang sure that it's going to arrive there. Don't you think that's amazing? I mean, this is a big place we live in. How we get things just from California to New York amazes me. So who are we celebrating then? Well, Pony Express. The Wells Fargo wagon is Wells Fargo. Nowadays it's the Amazon truck, right? The Amazon truck is coming and it should have something for me. Seriously, do you not get excited when you get to the door and there is something there for you? A package, a gift that you weren't expecting? And isn't it the same with snail mail? Don't you love to get a card in the mail or a letter? Okay, so it is World Post Day, and my challenge to you is send something today. Send something to someone and make their day when it arrives. I have to think about what I'm going to send out. My goal is to send out 3 things to 3 different people today. I'm writing it down. Send 3 things. Speaking of which, do you remember pen pals? Raise your hand if you had a pen pal or a dozen pen pals when you were a kid. We don't really do that anymore, do we? No. Pen pals, do you know what that is though, right? You get connected to someone from another country or another state, and then you just share information. There were relationships started by pen pals, and now we call it social media. But back in the day, we didn't have that. So we had pen pals. Get it? Pen pals? Because we'd actually write letters back and forth. And by the way, my grandson and I are pen pals. We send letters back and forth. It's a really fun thing to do. Oh, Lauren said she had 2 from Japan. Did you ever meet them? Did you ever get to meet your pen pals? I never got to meet a pen pal. I had some really good ones too. Okay, pen pals. Think about it. It'd be a fun thing for you to do if you know somebody in a foreign country who could hook you up with someone you've never met before. Or do it for your kids. It's a great experience. And by the way, it's a great learning experience for the kids. Not just to learn about someone from another place, but to learn to communicate with words on paper. That's an art that's kind of disappearing. Yeah. everything is by computer or verbally. Wouldn't it be nice to get your kids or your grandkids to actually sit down and write a letter? Lauren said she did get to meet them. Oh, I would love to hear more about that. That is so cool. So cool. Yeah. This morning when I woke up, I don't know. Oh, I know why. I was thinking about completion. I took on a big birthday task for someone. Because I used to be in the balloon and decorating business, I still have people who call me up and say, hey, I've got this coming up. Can you do some special stuff for me? So I do signs and banners and hats and centerpieces. And this one was a particularly hilarious job. Yeah, I don't want to go into it because it's their private event. But yeah, I've been working really hard to get that done because I have to deliver it tomorrow. Touchless delivery. Wash your hands. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Oh, because I woke up this morning thinking, okay, I stayed up late last night, but I'm finished. How good does that feel? And completion went on my gratitude list. But oddly enough, as soon as I wrote that, I realized the journey also had to go on my list because doing the work was so much fun. Yeah. I enjoy completion, but if you don't enjoy getting there, you've missed out on a huge part of life. Enjoy the journey. Yeah. Getting there is more than half the fun, and completion just feels really good most of the time. Okay, I said I was going to make a video for you on busyness, on how we make ourselves busy. And I will do it, but I couldn't because I was too busy. Here's to ya. Have an awesome, awesome Friday. Go out there and make the day count. Send someone some snail mail. And remember, cut the mold off your cheese. See you guys soon. Like, oh yeah, tomorrow.